Our last story is about brains and big bucks. How are they related? Let me rephrase. How much of the success you achieve depends on how intelligent you are? Take a guess. 25%? 50%? And let me tell you, this is not an original question. Nobel Prize winning economist James Heckman loves asking this question. And what's the answer? Innate intelligence has a much smaller influence on success. According to data, less than 2%. But if you don't want to look at data, just look at your boss. You don't have to be intelligent to be successful. And the biggest earners may not be the brainiest. Recently, a study was conducted in Sweden. It found that higher intelligence is related to higher wages, but only up to a point. They've given a threshold of $57,300 in salary, a lot of salary admittedly, but this is the threshold. Beyond that, the study says your ability plateaus, but your wages may continue to rise. And to prove this, they took a standard ability test. Do you know what the result was? The top 1% earners scored worse than those below them. In other words, the top bosses were technically not more deserving than those who earned half their wages. So for all you know, you could be the smartest person in the room, though not with the highest salary. And this invites some obvious questions. If ability is not the driving force behind occupational success, what is? And if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? Science, unfortunately, doesn't have a definitive answer, but some studies have tried their hand at solving this puzzle. Some say success is about luck. Others say family wealth plays a role. And another key factor is personality, which is a broad factor really. All of these are broad statements. But they're talking about conscientiousness, diligence, perseverance, self-discipline. All of this makes a difference. And then there's another surprising factor. Your spouse's personality can influence your career success, they say. This is according to studies. People with relatively prudent and reliable partners tend to perform better at work. But you could say you already knew all of this. I'm sure you did. But how do these studies help us then? They make us think and question the system, the process. For instance, should we stop fussing over IQ scores now? A 2016 study says grades are better predictors of success than raw IQ scores. After all, grades reflect qualities like perseverance plus intelligence. But then grade matters only up to a point. Social skills and motivation also play an important role in career growth. Also, here's a question that we must ask. If the most wealthy are not the most intelligent, can we really trust the decisions they make? And I'm not talking about Elon Musk, it's a general question. There is growing income inequality in the society. The richest 1% have nearly twice as much wealth as the rest of the world put together. $26 trillion to be exact. Billionaire fortunes are increasing by $2.7 billion a day. A billionaire gained roughly $1.7 million for every $1 earned by a person in the bottom 90%. And this study was done in Sweden, which has a relatively small wage gap. In 2021, Sweden's income inequality was 0.34%, their highest in 50 years. So think about other countries in West Asia and North Africa. They have the worst income inequalities in the world. Maybe the gap between intelligence and wages is even more there. And why is this important? Because the decisions that the top earners make have consequences for the rest of us. They drive policy changes in corporations. They also have political clout and the ability to influence policy. So it's important to have the right people in top positions. How do we ensure that? Perhaps by trying harder ourselves. Remember, successful people are not born, they're made.